So thoughts are based on two 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 bases for thoughts in our mind. The first one is called avidya or ignorance, and the second one is called as vidya. So what happens is, we discussed already that there are five types of thoughts. Five types of thoughts. So the five types of thoughts that are there, they are either klishta or aklishta, means painful or joyful. So no matter what, the soul will always, not soul, the soul is now having this material body. So every soul who has a material body, they will have these five types of thoughts. And these thoughts are either based on knowledge or they are based on ignorance. So they are based on either knowledge or ignorance. So thoughts will always be present. You cannot ignore thought. So even when we achieve liberation, even when we are liberated from this material suffering, so to speak, or even when we become completely free, then these five types of thoughts that are there, they become vidya. So now they are mixed. Now our thoughts are mixed. They are either based on avidya or vidya. So mostly we are based on avidya because identification with the body is strong. So avidya means ignorance. So this ignorance that we find, this lack of knowledge, avidya, this is very, very prevalent. This is the first thing that the soul gets when he wants to come to the material world. So the soul in the spiritual world with Krishna, his thoughts are completely as per the desire of Krishna. So his thoughts are how to serve Krishna, how to surrender to Krishna, how to worship Krishna. So in this way, the soul is only those type of thoughts. So thought in the spiritual world, of course, thought is completely Krishna conscious. Thought is meant to serve Krishna. So when you work from home, you get your children going around. So anyway, however, when the soul comes to the material world, he is covered with what is called as ignorance. This ignorance actually makes everything painful. So it is called as klishta, painful. So why is avidya, why is this painful? Because material world, it gets you attracted to the material world. So the root cause of our problems, the root cause of our suffering. So if you if our thoughts are based on avidya, then we actually obstruct our spiritual progress. Anything, just like we want to enjoy. So we may go to temple and we may want to enjoy. We may go to any place, even if we go to an ashram, even if we go to a monastery, and instead of doing strong spiritual practice, if we instead of strong spiritual practice, if we are simply focused on enjoying, if we simply enjoy instead of really focusing on our spiritual growth. So moment that itself, the moment our desire is either to enjoy this world, moment that desire comes, which is very painful to give up, that something which is very difficult to give up is avidya. So the moment the soul bases its thought on desire, on I want to enjoy, I am the owner, I am the controller, I am the enjoyer. So these three particular types of thoughts. So this is called as avidya. So this avidya, so in the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna explains what is knowledge and what is ignorance, what is not knowledge. So when the soul or us, when the mind thinks that this is okay, this enjoyment is okay. So when he is in that mentality that this is fine, this is okay, this is, and he tries to enjoy this world, but eventually in everything he tries to enjoy. For example, how to see equally. Now, if you are in the mode of goodness, now generally at the age of your teenage, young age, the puberty and everything, there is an attraction. And that attraction doesn't go away for some time, for up till the age of 50, 55. Even then the attraction to go away is very tough. But a yogi should see everyone equally. So how can a yogi be able to see everyone equally? So intelligence is, for example, Chanakya Pandit says that apart from one's wife, one should treat everybody else as, apart from one's wife, one should treat everybody else as his mother, which is also very difficult. To same with a woman, so she should also treat the man as father, or essentially to avoid attraction. Now, this attraction, this desire to enjoy is there. Now, when we focus on it intelligently, if you focus on it intelligently, and if you are calm enough, even when you look at Even when a man looks at a woman or a woman looks at a man, if you understand that it is just an interchangeable body, the same body that a dog has, a human has, a cow has, or any animal he has, all these bodies are all, it's just packed differently. If you actually see, it is just packed differently. And this packing differently, if you are able to realize that point, it is just a different packing. What am I getting attracted to? Basically, we are getting attracted to the soul. The same person may be very beautiful and we are getting attracted to that beauty. Oh, so beautiful. But imagine that person is sick now, just like this COVID, or just dies. Then we are no longer attracted to that body. Although the body may be beautiful when it dies, but we are no longer attracted, because actually speaking, we were attracted to the life within the soul. Now, this is a question of training. So our thoughts, basically based on our instinct, are a question of training. When you train yourself spiritually, when you cultivate yourself spiritually, when you train yourself, then your instinctive look on something is very beautiful. Your instinctive look. Because if I train myself to see this is a soul, and that takes meditation, that takes a lot of meditation, that I want to do this, right? So this meditation, this takes really a lot of energy, a lot of practice. So practice makes a man perfect. So that's not only at the physical level, but that's also at the intellectual level. So this practice needs to be perfected. So one has to train the mind, one has to train this thought to think in a certain way. And that basically gradually over a period of time changes your very concept. So what happens is, right now, even when we look at Radha and Krishna, spiritually speaking, to really revere them and love them on a spiritual platform, just like the great saints are seeing, it's very tough until and unless you have meditated, purified all your conception of the body, purified all the conceptions which are lying within the mind, purifying all the conceptions which are lying within your intellect. So that is ignorance, avidya. So this concept of I am the controller. So the three things that constitute avidya, ignorance, basically there are five expansions of avidya, ignorance. So what is that? Avidya. The next is called as asmita. So what happens is, when your ignorance, so with vidya, knowledge, you identify with the soul. When you are in avidya, you identify with the body. So you identify with ego. Avidya. Asmita. So that next it creates identification with the ego, the body. Then avidya leads to raga. So identification with the body leads to attachment. So that is the next thing. So avidya, asmita, then raga. Actually, there is also, before raga, there is abhinivesha. Moment you identify with the body, you are thinking, I am now youthful. That is, most people think like this. I am now youthful. And if I die right now, or if in old age I cannot enjoy, so let me enjoy right away. To that point, once Akbar asked Birbal, uh, when is the desire to enjoy the opposite sex goes away in anybody? So he said, Birbal said, till the point of death, if not purified. So Akbar says, prove it to me. So the very next day, Akbar's minister was about to die, a very old man. He's about to die. So Akbar's entire family go to visit, and Birbal is there. Now, as soon as he enters that court, the house of this old man, so Birbal immediately tells Akbar, look at this old man right now. And that old man is actually looking at Akbar's daughter first. So whatever is most beautiful, we get attracted to that rather than what is more important to look at, because that's how the mind is trained. The mind needs to be trained. So this training is the most critical aspect of the mind, because moment avidya blossoms, you identify with the body, and then this, you identify with the body, then you get attached. You get into attachment with the body. Then comes raga, that is attachment. Then is abhinivesha. Abhinivesha means fear of death. So raga comes first. So raga is attachment. So then there is dvesha. So when you have desires, you fear death. Oh, my desires are not yet fulfilled. How am I going to die? I'm going to die without fulfilling these. So that is raga. So dvesha means when similarly, so raga, the definition of raga is anything you enjoy in this world, it creates an attachment. That is called raga. And anything you suffer because of in this world, that creates dvesha. So there is asmita, raga and dvesha. Then there is abhinivesha. So when all these are present, there is always fear. Even the basic identification with the body creates fear, because we have died before. We have died in our previous lives. So that fear is always there of death. So that is called abhinivesha. So this is inbuilt. You see, even within the smallest baby to the oldest man, there is an instinct to survive. Nobody is eager for death. Oh, let me die, let me enjoy death. No, that is instinctively stored. Even a child doesn't know, but he has fear of death. He might not even know what is death, but there is fear of death. The old man knows what is death. He also has fear of death. A yogi has no fear of death. Dhiras tatra namukhyati. So this avidya leads to attachment or identification with the ego, attachment to the body, aversion to the body, and then it leads to abhinivesha, fear. This is very painful. So similarly, there is opposite to that is vidya, means we are in a mix of vidya and avidya. So vidya means identification with the soul. This leads to, so when you are speaking, you speak based on the scripture, because I'm talking based on the soul. So I cannot see the soul right now, but I have faith in the scripture. I have the realization or the purity or the sukriti enough that I can base my thought based on the scripture. So, on the spiritual platform, we may commit errors. That's fine. When you are in spiritual platform, I may want to do arti, I may want to do chanting, I may have a conception, but you're in the right track. You have to chant, but we may not have the intricacies of chanting. But then the other thoughts, error, right knowledge, memory, your memory is spiritual. And then there is sleep. So when we are in Sattva Guna and when we are in the spiritual platform, we may lack something a little bit. We may commit some mistakes also a little bit, but that shouldn't stop our progress. So that is the point. Because it takes a bit of time to get it right. But in Avidya, you are basing everything based on the soul. Whereas anything that is based on Avidya, there is a lot of suffering. There is a lot of pain in Avidya. So it is called as klesha, means it has a root cause. So it makes you suffer. So if we really want to get the best benefit of our spiritual practices, then we should change our very root of thinking. So thinking means how can I serve? How can I see everything based on the soul? That takes a little bit of time and practice, but eventually it will help you. So when we base everything based on the soul, it gives you incredible benefits. So, any questions or comments so far? Is everybody able to understand this? If anybody has a point or question, please go ahead. No?
One comment, I may be wrong. I was thinking, should we put the painful below obstruction? Is it, or we should put it as branching out of ignorance? I thought first it creates obstruction and that leads to pain. In the same way, Vidya leads to liberation and that leads to joy.
Yeah, we can put it that way. This was I can put it that way. Avidya, the thought in itself is painful.
Okay.
At the same time, it creates obstruction, which is also painful. But the thought itself is painful. See, but Vidya, just the knowledge itself is liberating. Just today, if nobody is even knows very clearly when the economy will open up, when will things get to normal. Just that, even if you don't do anything, just that thought makes you depressed, correct? So that is avidya, ignorance. Just that thought, just that, focus on that itself makes us depressed. Whereas Vidya, just that knowledge that I am not going to die, I am eternal, just that knowledge makes you joyful. So it is both. It creates an obstruction and then it creates pain. But in itself, it is pain. The root itself is pain. Ignorance itself is pain,
Yes.
right?
Very good. Correct.
Yeah. So similarly, when you have uh, what is the symptom of a self-realized soul? So when you look at this material world, you may see so much obstruction, suffering, but then you realize that you are here just another, what, 30, 40 years, then you are done. So that knowledge itself is liberating, means we are not here forever, so we don't have to, you know, do something extra. It's just you have to survive till everything collapses, that's all. Mm. So everything in the sense our body is also a mini universe. So as long as this body is alive, our universe is existing, and the moment this body is dead, our universe is collapsed. It's like a mini universal collapse. So your body also means a lot because so many jivas are residing in that body. So the more you practice spiritually, so all the benefits are going to all of them also at the same time. Mm. All right. So good question. Any other questions, comments? All right. So let's go ahead. So the next part is basically, how do you change this? How do you change this root? So the root is changed by, he says, uh, three steps actually. He says tapas swadhyaya ishvara pranidhan. Tapasya, one should, it will not happen so easily. So one has to practice tapasya. One has to fast on Ekadashi. One has to basically overcome sinful reactions. Pap. So one has to stop doing pap because pap makes, uh, I think joy comes from experience, not from mere knowledge. Please clarify. Just, okay, to add to this, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that when somebody even perceives spiritual knowledge, when somebody realizes spiritual knowledge, you can say experience, but experience of just that, for example, the first time I saw one ISKCON very wonderful sannyasi, Radhanath Swami, the first time I saw him, I had tears in my eyes just by looking at him, just by seeing him, because he, yogi, just like when many people saw Prabhupada, moment they saw Prabhupada, they felt so much joy. Oh my God. Or the first time you are reading Bhagavad Gita, just that reading, you haven't even started acting upon it. Just hearing that this book liberates you, that this book is amazing, just to understand that basic fact, isn't it amazing? So just the basic knowledge itself can liberate you. At the same time, when you gain experience, it also gives joy, both. Ignorance itself can keep you depressed. But when I know that I am spirit soul, just to know that, that actually liberates you from so many things. Right now, many people do not even have the knowledge of the soul. They are thinking this is their last life. And because just that basic understanding is missing, they are all eager to finish their enjoyment as soon as they can. They are just eager to finish their enjoyment as much as they can, as soon as they can. Isn't that just that very Understanding can lead to anxiety, or that very anxiety can lead to, that very knowledge can lead to anxiety, or very knowledge of the soul leads to, so both ways. When we know something and we act upon it, that realization definitely gives us a joy which is fully realized. But even before we realize it, just the point that we know, just like uh, we see other devotees dying, and we think that those devotees, by chanting Hare Krishna, they are going to Vaikuntha. Nobody has seen. Very few have seen. Like Tukaram Maharaj in Dehu, he gave one example of himself. And he is in Dehu, and the Vaikuntha plane came and picked him up and went. So everybody has faith. But just thinking, even if you are not acting on it, just thinking that there is Vaikuntha, this will liberate me, this is just, that gives you so much security and joy, that hope. When you act upon it, so that is called a jnana. So jnana. So there is jnana, means there is joy, there is happiness in jnana also. Just like most of us are practicing yogis. So we are all trying to practice yoga to a certain degree. We are not yet realized. Nobody is realized. Even on this platform of that we know, that we understand this knowledge, we are joyful. But the more you act on it, the joy increases. So basic joy starts there. But that the joy, anandam buddhi vardhanam, the joy just keeps on increasing. And as you realize, your joy reaches its peak. That's what we have to understand. That's what we have to realize. So does that make it clear, Induji? If not, I can clarify. Okay, so I hope it's clarified. Huh? So, okay, so we have to understand that the knowledge itself is liberating, because that knowledge itself, at some point or the other, one will act on it. But the problem is, those who know it and don't act on it, that becomes dangerous. When you have spiritual knowledge and then you don't act on it, because it is said opportunity doesn't strike twice. So your opportunity doesn't strike twice. So you have to take the opportunity that you get. So in the so the 5 types of thoughts. So basically, Vidya means scriptural knowledge, knowledge from Guru, knowledge from Shastra, and knowledge from Guru. These are very, very important. So when we cultivate and develop this knowledge, we become very, very, this knowledge itself shows the light. It's just like you are in complete darkness. Okay, this is a better example. I'm walking at night on the street, and the lights are turned off. I don't see anything. That is fearful. Even though I have not yet started walking there, but just seeing that is completely dark, I'm fearful. But when the street lights are turned on and I walk in that light, and I'm able to walk in that light, just that fact that the street lights are turned on, I can see the path, I am already joyful. Okay, now I can see. But when I start walking, now I'm clear, I can see, I know the path. So your joy is from beginning to the end, whereas ignorance from beginning to end, it's painful. So what are the activities in avidya? So all the material activities of enjoyment. So basically, you try to enjoy this world in various means, with body, with the mind. So some people want to control, some people want to see others suffer. So those are all envious activities. At the same time, we just want to enjoy, travel, do this, do that. Even in heavenly planets, they are engaged in the same business. So even them, they are also caught up with this desire to enjoy. Only a yogi does not gives up the desire to enjoy. Only a yogi takes to the life of tapasya, of ready to serve, ready to surrender, ready to study the scripture, follow the scripture, walk on the scripture, and give a better spiritual understanding. So that is the goal. So anyway, we have to. Sorry, I'm a little tired because it's my sixth day of fasting, and just water, and it's making me a little tired. So, but anyway, so basically, we have to realize that the desire to enjoy in ignorance is very, very harmful. And when we purify this, because there are numerous thoughts, so we have to purify the body, the mind at every level. And at this, after this purification, we will find the benefit which will flow through. And that is because of Vidya. But it is said one should know both. Vidyamcha yastad vedo bhayam saha avidya mrityum tirtva vidyaya mratamashrute. That one should know both matter and spirit. Then one will be able to distinguish. Avidya mrityum tirtva. So avidya, it only takes you to death, rebirth. Vidyaya mratamashnute. So only vidya, the spiritual knowledge and activity based on spiritual knowledge, liberates you. So we should have a knowledge and a balance of both, and that influences our thought. All right. So any concluding questions before we start the Yoga Nidra, or comments?
Guruji, can you give that sutra, tapasya? You said that what are the things that we
That is the 2.1. Tapas Swadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhana Kriya Yoga.
repeat again, Guruji?
Tapas Swadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhana Kriya Yoga. So one should practice tapasya, swadhyaya, study of the scripture, and one should surrender unto Ishvara.
So now we move to second chapter.
Thank you, Induji. So I think that was that example was better. Okay. So tapas swadhyaya Ishvara pranidhana kriya yoga. Okay. So I will. So we will start the yoga nidra then, if there are no more comments or questions. So today's was a very little deep topic. So, but all these topics are going to be deep. So tomorrow we are going to understand the the different stages of klesha. So different stages of klesha. So we already studied what does it do, what is the effects of klesha. So tomorrow we will study that in very much detail. Hmm. Okay, so let us start the yoga nidra. Deeply inhale and exhale. Focus on your throat. Feel the breath in your throat. See yourself sitting in this position. Imagine and meditate yourself sitting in this position. And keep a mental picture of yourself sitting in whatever position you are. As you breathe in, visualize beautiful soothing energy entering your body and all the toxins leaving the body. Inhale and exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. One more time, inhale and fully exhale. Now gradually focus on all your toes, all your toes of your legs. Exhale. Feel your toes relaxing. Now on your soles of your feet, heels, ankles, calf muscles, knees, thigh, buttocks, all the fingers of your hand. Just feel, just touch the thumb and the forefinger. Feel the pulse. Don't press, just touch. Deep breathing. Palms, back of the palms, wrists, forearms, elbows, biceps, triceps, shoulders, shoulder blades, lower abdomen, navel, upper abdomen, chest, neck, chin, cheeks, lips, nostrils, eyes, eyebrows, in between the eyebrows, forehead, top of the head, ears, back of the head, your entire back, your legs, back of your legs, your entire body. Inhale and exhale deeply. Feel your whole body relax. Keep a mental impression of your entire body and deep breathe. Just imagine your body is relaxing. It's actually feeling very relaxed. Meditate on the relaxation. Gradually meditate on your heart. Feel your heart, the soul in the mind. The soul is surrounded by avidya. The soul is covered of its true knowledge. There needs to be true knowledge enlivening to the soul. By the process of mantra, by the process of scripture, by the process of purification, this knowledge can be realized. When the mind is fully immersed, it will reflect on the soul. Feel the golden light in the heart, in the mind. The soul within the heart, full of joy. The soul is encased by ignorance. When joy permeates this soul, he becomes completely liberated. He becomes completely happy. Let this knowledge, let this joy prevail. Feel this effulgence pervade throughout the body. Meditate on the Supreme Lord within the heart so that He always keeps the soul protected in knowledge, and this becomes our last birth. And this covering of mind is completely removed. We are peaceful. Let us completely immerse in this soul, in the beauty of this soul, and the beauty of our best friend, the Supreme Lord, in the heart. Feeling joyful, grateful. This is the time. Feeling the relaxation, energy that has come out of this yoga nidra. Open your eyes. Feel relaxed, feel energized, feel joyful, full of knowledge. All right. All right. Thank you all so much for joining. And please turn your cameras on. It's time to say bye. And join again tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
tomorrow we will go deeper into the aspects of klesha, and day after tomorrow into vidya, and then the benefits of asana pranayama, like that. All right. Thank you all so much. See you all
Thank
tomorrow
you.
again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.